away, keeping us straight. Here I pray. Keep the devil away, keep him astray. Here I stay. Hello, my name is Zorn, and I am the guitar player and founder of the band Zornheim from Sweden. And we play some sort of symphonic melodic death metal with a lot of heavy metal influences. And we are a concept band, meaning that all our albums revolves around an asylum that's called Zornheim.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So, how was the band formed?
I formed the band in 2014 after I had parted ways with the band I was in previously. And I kind of sat down and really thought my next move, so to speak, through, and kind of decided that it was time for me to fulfill my lifelong dream that I wanted to form a symphonic band that would be um, revolving around a concept, and that would be using a lot of real instruments like strings and real choirs and stuff like that. And yeah, after that, I started composing the first album. And when I had the first couple of songs, um, I started to audition people, and thus Zornheim was formed.
Okay, cool. So, how did you come up with the band name?
Um, the previous band that I was in is a band called Dark Funeral, and I used to have my name as my stage name was Zornheim, and I had already decided that I wanted to make a concept band, and I had decided that I wanted the concept to revolve around this an asylum, and uh, Zornheim means it's actually German, and Zorn means anger, and Heim means home. So it's basically a rough translation, the home of anger. And it, it kind of made a lot of sense to use that name for the asylum and the band, because there's bound to be a lot of angry persons confined in asylum. So we kind of did it this way, where we named the band Zornheim with a Y, and then we named the asylum Zornheim with an I instead, to be able to kind of differentiate when we're talking about the band Zornheim and the asylum Zornheim.
Ah, okay. So that's how that band name coming up.
Yeah.
That's cool. So, how many album have you released?
We released our second album via Noble Demon last October, actually, and it's called the Zornheim Sleep Experiment. And if you haven't seen it, the CD version looks like this.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it's a very cool album, and I'm really proud of this album. I think that it turned out way cooler than my initial expectations. And this time around, we actually recorded a real string quartet in the studio. For the first album, we used a string orchestra, but it was recorded uh, in another vicinity than the studio. So our sound engineer, he wasn't really in control, which made it harder for him to mix that album. But this time we decided to bring a lot of talented string players to the studio, and Sverker Widgren of Wing Studios, where we recorded, he was in full control of the whole recording process. So that made that gave the string sound that little extra um, touch to it that
Yeah.
really
So it's
really
a lot of
made the
work.
sound pop. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I think we spent on and off like 2 years in the studio.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, because there's so much work behind every track.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we ended up using over 400 channels for this album, meaning that, there's a lot of stuff that's been recorded.
Do you say 400?
Yeah, 400
Yeah.
channels. Yeah, it's
It's
uh, it's ridiculous, but
yeah.
you can really tell once you push play and you hear the music that it's epic and we mean it.
Yeah. I Yeah, I am with you with that. So when will the next album or single be coming out?
Um, I mean, we recently recorded and released an album. We are gonna release a graphic novel, like a comic book, just like we did with the first album. And basically, the graphic novel kind of tells the whole story about the album, but in another format. And when we are releasing that graphic novel, we're gonna release a song. And currently, I'm working on new songs for the third album,
Yeah.
and I I have a lot of ideas, but maybe only one track finished to the date.
Okay, it's the same music style from the last album.
Yes, it's in the same vein, but we're probably gonna try out some new twists to the
Okay,
sound, I
that will
guess.
be cool. So is it you who made the text in the song?
Yes, I write the lyrics together with the other guitar player, Skukka, and our vocalist, Bendler.
Okay. So can you tell me what the story about the song? You know, if you have some story from the lyrics you made.
Yeah, the whole album is about a sleep experiment that's
Yeah.
being conducted at the asylum. And the whole booklet, if you open up the CD, starts with uh, the professor of the asylum, his statement of intent, what his intentions with the experiment are. And then basically you get to follow him um, throughout the whole experiment. So he has taken a group of inmates. Some are violent and some are more calmer and in that vein. And then he has put them in a secured area. Um, uh, Something that he's referring to in the experiment as the chamber, and then the inmates are being monitored by him, the professor, Professor Beetelheim, and his um, assistant, Dr. Gutzman. And yeah, basically they sit there and they are monitoring these inmates. and the inmates are forced to inhale a gas that's called monochrome through special made gas mask, as you can maybe you can see
Yeah,
it a
now
little
we
bit.
can see it.
Yeah. Um, so they inhale this gas called uh, adrenochrome through the gas mask, and it's that gas is kind of made out of the whole adrenaline that you get from your fight or flight reflex. So that makes them really alert and makes them not fall asleep, and then they are basically forced to stay awake during the whole time, and throughout the process, you get to witness and experience things that the doctor didn't really plan.
Okay, so that's the story about the lyrics.
Yeah, about the whole album.
Yeah.
Like you get to read his session notes after each song. In the booklet, there's like a one page with the lyrics, and then the next page has like the doctor's personal session notes that he's been scribbling down while he's been conducting the experiment. So yeah, it's very detailed and a lot of work put in.
I believe you, but I think this is can be a horror movie.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah, uh, I would totally love seeing the Zornheim Sleep Experiment as a horror movie.
Yeah, I will love and see that too. So, how important is the music for you?
You mean when
Your music that you
I,
make?
yeah, to me, my music is extremely important, and I take my music very seriously. That's why we have recorded so much with real instruments, and we haven't left anything on this album to chance. We haven't half-assed anything. Uh, Everything is put there for a reason, and there's so much thought both in the lyrics and in the music. Uh, yeah, and writing music to me that's something that I kind of have to do because I generally become unhappy if I can't sit down and compose music. So
Yeah, so
I
you cannot live with no music.
no, that's actually before I formed Zornheim, I was debating on stop doing music anymore because I had just became a father for the first time and everything like that, and yeah, it felt kind of difficult to start up a new band and everything like that. But as soon as I had that thought, I was like, I'm not going to be able to live without composing music. And then it's always more fun to, have a goal and be able to share the music and
Yeah,
release it and get home, like a really cool product and things like that. Like just the layout and everything around the album, like the booklet and the pictures and our stage clothes. There's so much thought invested in that and put into that, and we're so fortunate that we get to work with so many talented people like Jens Redén that's been doing like all our pictures and all the layout and been helping us with creating and making um, making the booklet come alive the way it is. So it almost feels like you're stepping into the sleep experiment when you're, uh, checking it out.
Yeah, you maybe can send all the link to me so I can put it on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, yeah, sure.
So where do you see your band in 5 years?
I hope that in 5 years that we're currently working on our fourth album, and that we are playing at bigger venues, and that we are planning our first show with real orchestra.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be very cool, and that's my, uh, you know, that's like the end game. Be
Yeah,
able to tour with a lot of string, like a string quartet and a small choir, and maybe a small brass section and stuff like that, and have a lot of um, stage props and cool lights and maybe some actors and stuff like that. We have so many cool ideas for um, how to make Zornheim a real cool spectacle to experience live.
yeah, I can understand that, and maybe come and play at Veckans band festival.
Yeah, yeah, that would be cool, man.
Yeah. So what make you different from the other band?
Um, I think our music is more guitar oriented than a lot of other symphonic bands. It's almost, I mean, it's like if you see the music as a train that comes rolling, then the guitar is, the train that
Yeah,
moves in the front, and the symphonic aspects are the wagons that are, attached to the train. And I I feel sometimes that a lot of other symphonic bands kind of hide behind the orchestra and let the orchestra do a lot of the heavy lifting for the song, and the guitars are more playing chords or rhythmic patterns and stuff like that. And that can be really cool, but we prefer to have the guitar as a main character
yeah.
in the musical story, so to speak.
That's what I like with your band.
Ah, cool. And all a lot of melodies and solos are guitar based, and on the new album we have a lot of like twin guitar things going on, like Maiden has, and Halloween has on Keeper of the Seven Keys. Those album, a lot of themes, and there's like two guitars
Yeah,
playing them and playing against each other like that, which I find very appealing to me. So uh, we've been doing that kind of stuff, and I feel that that's what kind of differentiates us from a lot of
okay,
other symphonic bands.
that's cool. So, have you some plan to go on tour to next year?
Yeah, we're actually going to do a bunch of shows this year
Oh,
already. We're playing in. We're going to do a Swedish tour together with Monegarm and Kvan,
Klan.
and yeah, uh, and we're going to play in Stockholm, and we're going to play in Linköping and in Örebro.
Not in Luleå.
Not in not in Luleå this time,
Damn.
I'm afraid. Would have been very cool to play more up north, like we did when we played at House of Metal, but we got this offer to play with Monogarm, and we thought it was a really cool offer, so we
Yeah.
accepted that. And then we're going to do a French tour and a German tour.
Oh,
Uh,
that's cool.
yeah, and play some really cool festivals with bands like Vader and Tankard and a lot of other cool bands.
Yeah. So you have a lot of concert.
Yeah, I haven't counted exactly, but it should be like 20 gigs or something like that we have planned.
This is I like.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be very cool. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, during the pandemic, we only did two shows. So,
Wow,
uh,
on 3 years. Oh, no, wait, 2 years.
yeah, on 2 years.
Yeah,
So, like, and the fun thing is that we did both shows in Denmark, and uh, I think we did both shows in September as well. So we played like in 2020, 2019, I guess, in Raise Your Horns at Bornholm, and then 2020, no, 2020 in Bornholm, and 2021 in at Balfest
okay.
in Odense.
That's I don't know that place, but I need to check it out.
Yeah, both places were really cool, especially Raise Your Horns. They had like this uh, pretty big festival going, which was really cool.
Okay, so this is was my last question. Do you want to say anything to everyone?
Uh, if you haven't heard Zornheim before, feel free to check us out. I think we offer something quite fresh and unique. It's like a mixture of some melodies from dissection, fused in a orchestral element with some melodic death metal, and then you have some King Diamond feeling to it as well, and some heavy, plain and simple heavy metal on top of that. And if you like anything like that, I think that you're gonna really enjoy us. And like I said, there's so much stuff to discover if you're a real sucker for concept albums.
Yeah.
There's a lot of details put into this album, to the two albums that we have released. The first album is called Where Hatred Dwells and Darkness Reigns,
Mm,
and the second one is the Zornheim Sleep Experiment.
okay.
Yeah,
So thanks for this interview.
yeah, thank you.